This episode is brought to you by Kiko Socks. With a pair of Kikos, you'll have an experience that keeps you focused on your performance and not your feet. Use our coupon code POD15 for 15% off your order at kikosocks.com.
I hope you guys enjoyed the pod. Be sure to follow us on Instagram or YouTube at podpractice_pod. Email us at show@podpracticepod or listen on Spotify at podpractice.
Okay.
On today's episode of the pod, we welcome in AK, aka Akshat Rajan, one of the best ultimate filmers in the game, notable on the East Coast for some of the best highlight videos that you're going to see. On today's episode, we talk about what it takes to film Ultimate, Mercer County Summer League, and porn. I hope you enjoy. Yeah.
You did it.
Holy
Yeah.
moly. Holy moly. Let's timestamp that. Mark clip. Boom.
Welcome back to the show. We got Quinn and Kins back in the house, and today we're joined by Akshat. Is it Akshat Rajan? Is that correct?
Yeah, Akshat Rajan. Usually Rajan
Rajan
is like the Indian way to say it, but Rajan, honestly, I just call it Rajan. Yeah.
Rajan.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the Indian way to say it?
Like Rajan.
Rajan?
But
Akshat
I just go by
Rajan.
Rajan. Rajan is usually just easier to say. So.
And from Rajan Studios, then, tell us a little bit about yourself. So you're one of our top ultimate videographers. You give us a brief rundown on who you are and how you got into photography, videography, and ultimate.
Absolutely. So I grew up in Jersey, in West Windsor. It's right outside like Princeton University. I played tennis in high school, but a lot of my friends played frisbee. We played on the parking lot, and eventually they were like, "Oh, you should come out try out for the frisbee team." And our frisbee team back then was pretty good. We had a bunch of kids that played on the Devil team that the year they won the national championship in 2010. And I played with, and so the team name is West Windsor North, the Northern Knights. We've had a lot of good players come out of there. Mark Lynn, Scotty Shu, Shashank Alati, who plays on Pony right now, Alex Liu. So we have a lot of guys that, kind of all over the place. A lot of good fun rivalry games with Westfield, Columbia, Pennsbury back in the day. So that's what got me into Ultimate. I was not too serious about it until my senior year of high school. I kind of just, came to practice because I liked the people. While during that time, I also liked to film like fun projects for school. Like if we ever had like some class project, I always liked the film part of it. Like we always made a movie or some sort of like short film or some sort of project with the video involved. We made like Eminem music videos with my friends back in the day. So that's how like the filming part started. And then I went to Penn State for undergrad, and at Penn State I played A team for like about a year, but honestly I had more fun playing on the B team, and so I did that for 2 years. My first time was freshman year, and then sophomore and junior I played on the B team. Honestly, that's where the filming kind of kicked in more with frisbee.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I actually picked up a frisbee for filming, or picked up a camera for filming frisbee, was during high school, my senior year, because my captain Mark Lynn never played me. He benched me all the time, so I just whipped out the camera. So the joke is like, "Yo, Mark, if you didn't if you gave me playtime, I probably would have never picked up a frisbee." So we always run him for that. So I filmed a lot more for Penn State. I went to like the Penn State tournaments, and they always went to Pitt, like to play like at Steel City Showdown. So I filmed a lot of like Pittsburgh, Penn State games. And I filmed a lot for the local Jersey team that I've basically played alongside like my whole life, Garden State Ultimate, GSU. Alex, you might have heard of that one.
Of course.
Honestly,
very familiar.
a lot of like filming GSU was like a lot of my summer league friends, a lot of my former high school teammates, even college teammates. So filming them was essentially like how I grew to filming more teams. Eventually went from filming GSU to filming more of Pittsburgh. I still travel with Pittsburgh to college nationals every year since 2016. And then that branched off to filming with Truck in 2013, Patrol a couple years at college nationals, and then always at Mid-Atlantic regionals. I've always been at Mid-Atlantic regionals since like I started filming. So that's essentially what started it. Kind of playing in high school, and then essentially realizing I like filming more than playing. Nowadays, I play on a pickup club series team usually every year. I don't really play elite club or anything. I don't think I'm good enough for it too. But I usually play summer league every year. Summer league is my
Neither am I.
vibe. And we all have our outlet. Some people it's club nationals. For some people, it's summer league finals. So
Which summer
yeah,
league do you play in, AK?
McCuddle.
Yeah,
McCuddle. It's
nice.
right. It's basically in central Jersey, but we get a lot of like Pennsbury, a lot of Bucks
Mm-hmm.
County area from PA, and a lot of the Jersey people that come down and play. I would say their A League, which plays once a week during the summer, it's like a separate division, is probably the most competitive summer league you'll probably play in. I believe everyone is usually like a club nationals player, like Noah Saul, like Quinn Hunziker, even like some Colorado guys like Dennison Beaches,
Beaches.
Matt Bode, Mike Bode, Isaac Saul. Like it's like a lot of the old Pennsbury roots all come back and play, so it's pretty competitive every year. But yeah.
Speaking of Denny Beaches, he's the only Bravo player who won both championships, and he works for me now.
Oh,
Good old Denny.
small world. Small world.
He's won.
And I don't.
He won for Devil, for Bird, and then for Bravo twice.
Yeah, and he says he's one of the most. He said he peaked in high school is what he always says.
That. Yeah. Did you ever play against him in high school? Pennsbury, I think, right?
Yeah, he was Penzer, but I was graduated. I graduated 2012, so I think he graduated like 2 years before me. So I think he was playing when I started, but I don't remember playing against him. Yeah, but I remember playing against like Trent. We played against Trent a lot. A lot of like the Pittsburgh guys. We played against Alex Thorne, Tyler DiGirolamo, Max Thorne, all those guys. But, yeah.
People don't realize how many good players come out of that little area.
Listen,
especially
let me tell you.
Garden State too. A lot of Garden State guys go up to play on better club teams as well.
There's something in the Pennsbury blood. Let me tell you right now, a lot of those kids, like, they don't go to like elite college schools and they kind of like flame out sometimes. But if you ever get a tryout from someone that went to Pennsbury, like, you should just take them. There's something in their blood. I don't know what it is.
I think that's true. There is something about Denny
it is
too,
true.
the way he plays.
Yeah.
Isn't Ben Harris playing for Garden State? Is that?
Yeah, Ben Harris is playing for Garden State. Yeah.
So we got a Bird guy on that team too. So
yeah, he's a Columbia guy, I believe, at heart. Columbia High School, right?
I think.
You're right.
So,
yeah. Ben and Aylin both played Columbia, and they both played Garden State a couple of years, at least
That's
one.
right.
Aylin played Garden State. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Sort of segueing then into actually, I'll weave in a fan question here. CJX12 asks about like your connection. How did you become connected with Pony specifically? He asked, what is it like being part of and connected with Pony, and do you have any official role with the team?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of like longtime former friends that played on GSU ended up going to Pony. So Shashank Alati, Mark Lynn. I've known like Keegan, Ben Yacht. I've known those guys for a long time from truck stop time. I filmed Ben a lot, and I've met with his dad a lot at college nationals, club nationals. Essentially, that's what kind of triggered the relationship. But a lot of it was essentially the Jersey guys moving up to Pony. So last year, I mean, Jabron, Marquez, Shank, Mark, all those guys. And then obviously I know Keegan for a while. We talk about a lot of tennis all the time. And just those roots all kind of bringing up. And this year, Sean Mott, who I played summer league with for a couple of years in McCuddle itself, moving up to the team is like another reason for me to film. Usually, honestly, I'm not like, there's not like a specific role I play, because I don't know if you guys know, but I don't charge to film. I like to film, I like to support teams of players that I like watching, or my friends. I like to capture them. So I don't really charge anyone to film. So I like to do it for free. But essentially, I'm just filming their games. Usually get a nice highlight reel out. I guess you can say this year for Pony, I was kind of the team physician for them as well, because they had some unfortunate stuff during club and college nationals. But yeah, I mean, I just go there. I like to work for myself. I feel like if I work for like Ultiworld or something, which is not, I've done that in the past, you're kind of restricted to like exactly the games you have to film, and like the like kind of like highlights or the game, like schedule you kind of can't really make yourself. So me being able to kind of do what I want to do, I like to have that independence, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah, you're freelance.
Exactly. Yeah, freelance, but not making any money. So
I know I was looking at Keegan's Instagram, and they have a connection with Tommy Paul, who's a very good tennis player. Are you connected with him as well? I was trying to figure out like where that Tommy Paul connection came about,
Oh
because they were
shit,
watching him.
Keegan knows Tommy Paul, or he
I
was
don't.
watching their game.
So I don't know. He was
Oh,
watching the
yeah.
match, and he tagged him, and the Instagram story made it seem like they have some type of connection. Him and JR were.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they know him. I think they were just
Okay,
going to watch because I usually go to the Open every year. I actually have like
that's
pictures with like
sick,
Federer and Nadal, like Serena and all.
dude. So sick.
And
Oh my god, were
yeah,
you there this past weekend?
this year I wasn't. I was working a lot, and honestly, after Federer retired, I've been kind of like a little
You
depressed about
lost,
watching
lost.
tennis again. I've watched I have not missed a Federer game since 2004.
Holy
So
Oh
when him,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah. So
That's
Federer
crazy.
retiring was kind of like, it was tough for me.
He
It's
was your
like hard for me to
guy.
get back into the sport,
Yeah,
So
I'm a
yeah,
big tennis fan. In 2018 when Pro Champs was in
yeah.
New York, me and some other guys got to go watch some tennis at US Open. So that was highlight of
Oh, nice,
yeah
nice.
of
Yeah,
that
I was
year.
there. We probably ran by each other.
Probably ran by each other. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a
Who's
bunch
your
of friends that went did the ball boy stuff. So
Yeah.
before they
Oh,
made the
dude.
practice courts, so nowadays, honestly, there's too many people that know about this now. But if you come to the tournament a week before the tournament starts,
Hmm.
you'll get first row seats to the top guys practicing. That's where you get the pictures, autographs, all that stuff. No
Yeah.
one knew about it because if you knew of someone in the U.S. Open, they would send you a schedule of when Federer's practicing at what
Oh
time. So
yeah.
you would
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like go in. Now it's public knowledge, so like people go. But
Damn.
I have to
yeah, that
ask
was
you
cool.
about the ball boy process because, funny enough, Stan, my roommate, and I have been talking about trying out to be a ball boy at the U.S. Open next year.
Oh yeah,
'Cause- yeah, yeah.
I think
Did you actually go through the process then? What
no,
is the
not me. I
process?
never tried out, but my two friends that like they were doing it for a long time. One's like now like an equipment manager or something during the 2 weeks that the Open is on. Honestly, I feel like it's hard to get in as an older person. You kind of have to. They like younger people and like
That's what I
building
would
on
figure.
them.
They're all like
Yeah,
little kids. But then we were after we said this, we were watching all the matches and like, well, that lady's old. That guy's
yeah.
old. We
They
could do
probably
that
like
for.
have a connection or they've been doing it for like 20 years.
Yeah,
That's how you
yeah.
get it. You could be a line call judge though, but that you have to be so good at like they test you in like so many ways with like these vision tests. And honestly, it's like
Dude, I'm out on
5%
that.
of people pass that shit.
The listeners know I
Yeah.
play a lot of pickleball and I can never tell if it's in or out.
Yeah. I just started
That's
getting into
so
pickleball.
frustrating.
So,
Who's your Federer of Ultimate, AK? Who have you not missed a game since
Federer's
2000?
ultimate. Oh, that's tough.
Well, you said you
Like,
hadn't missed a match since 2004.
yeah, like watching or
Yeah,
like
watching.
filming.
Like
Damn.
watching. Like if you have the opportunity, who are you watching? Who do you like to watch?
Let's see. I guess I'm biased probably because I like filming the pit guys, but there was something really nice about watching Tyler DiGirolamo back in 2012. I saw a hot take that he was the best player in the world for like a brief period, but watching him play then, I think watching him and Bo Kittredge play was like a treat because they were essentially unguardable for most of their careers. Maybe Ty. I mean, Ty had a lot of injuries, but definitely Bo. I've always liked watching OP Payne, Katie Ryan of San Francisco Fury. She played McCuttle for a bunch of years. Um, I actually went to Pele uh,
Molly?
on Molly. Her
Yeah.
brother played at Penn State with me, Matt Pelletier.
Oh,
So
is
he
that
would
right?
always tell me about her sister, and I didn't know who she was because she always went by Pele. But she played McCuttle for a couple of years too, and she was obviously better than everyone. And I would say in college, Amel Ewadel Kareem, she went to Penn State with me as well, and she's married to Jacob Smith, who also he's a Pennsbury guy too, but he also went to Penn State.
What
So
about
another
to
GSU guy.
What about to film? I have that written down as a question I wanted to ask. Like favorite player to film. It's probably gonna be like Jeff Babbitt because every time he's on the field, there's a crazy highlight. But curious.
Yeah. I would actually go with Babbitt maybe in the last 2 years, but
Sure.
honestly, I would go with probably Sean Mott or Quinn Hunziker.
Cool.
They're not only can they jump, but they can throw pretty fast, pretty well too.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have heard of Quinn Hunziker.
I haven't,
Alex,
but
you might.
he's
Yeah,
got
he
my
was
Who's my
basically
video.
who's
So
He was my teammate on patrol. He's like one of those Pennsbury guys you referred to.
Yeah.
He's very talented, but
He's probably
Wow.
the fastest player I've ever seen. Probably got some of the best
Really?
throws I've ever seen, and he
Is
probably
that
has the
true?
best vertical I have ever seen in
What?
Ultimate.
This guy sounds like the
Um,
best player in the world.
Listen, here's his profile picture. This is him skying someone, I think a 6'4" guy on Florida United a couple years ago.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah,
You had that ready.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, listen,
It's his background.
Quinn was sick. He gave me a duckbill hat that I think I gave it to Danny actually, but I kind of want it back because I never see Danny wearing it. But Quinn was awesome, and I love how I was actually going through your stuff today on YouTube, and I saw some of the most recent stuff was the McCuddle finals and the I was hyped to see you did the just normal PATA Summer League finals. I had to turn that on to just go back and see everyone and who was still doing work out there.
I had to start the Pata vibe. I feel like I've been filming McCuddle for so many years. You know, I had to switch and do both. So he's now
was
have
this
friends on both leagues.
was this your first year of filming PATA?
No,
The
second year. So
finals?
last year I did the finals too. Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
So nice
Yeah, it
to
was-
see Trey Kotzenbach and
Trey's
Billy
still
Maroon
out there. Still, I know. I turned it on.
Legalist.
I turned it on. Trey and Billy. Oh my God, some old timers running it up. And then like that pit guy was. And was that I had never seen him play before, but was that Adam Grossberg's younger brother on
Sam
Billy
Grossberg.
Maroon's
Yeah.
team? Yeah. That kid's gonna be good. He's gonna be
good. Him
I
and
think it's
Billy Maroon's son. They're both really good.
yeah. Oh, was that the really fast one?
Yeah.
Oh wow. See, it's really funny
Michael
because
Maroon.
you could go on this stuff and watch your footage and watch like summer leagues and whatever, and you're gonna see like kids who are gonna be tearing it up in a few years
That's
just on
true.
some random summer league finals. Because that's just it always, towards the finals, the good players concentrate and show up. It's really funny.
That's why I like McCuddle, because it's a little more like there's no observers. It's a summer league game, but it's also a little more gritty. Some trash talk on the sideline. There's a lot of fouls. I'll be honest. There's a lot of backpacking, but honestly, that's like the kind of ultimate I like to film. It's a little more gritty and like street. But like there's plays all the time. Like in the last 4 years, people are more systematic now. They do all their bracketing and like flow stat and like actual pull plays. But like 10 years ago, man, it was just huck and pray, and it was perfect for the camera because it was always going to Sean Mott or Quinn Hunsaker.
Talk a little bit more about that, like the challenges of filming Ultimate and what goes into it, the different angles, what people are not thinking about, passersby like myself who may be
Yeah, I saw that
blocking
today.
the camera.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And also like, so you pretty much exclusively film at kind of, what would you call it, like highlight level, or just talk a little bit about the process and the different levels of play that you might film.
Yeah. For myself, I've made a pivot in the last 2-3 years. I've realized that Ultiworld and like all these streaming companies are filming more games. So like in 2010 to 2012 to like 2016 on my channel, like I filmed a lot of just full games with like a camcorder that could capture the whole field, and I would make highlight videos out of that. But I've realized like a lot of games are just being covered now. Like if you go to Club Nationals, like even Pro Champs, there's like 48 games being streamed. So like I realized my value would be more into like highlights, because that's what teams tend to appreciate more and people want more of. So I bought a big, as you guys can see, it's like a 200 to 600 lens for my camera, and essentially you can zoom all the way down. But the problem is you can't capture like scout film. Like my camera work is probably not good for scout film anymore because you can't see like cuts developing in the backfield and stuff. Honestly, the real keys for filming Frisbee is investing in a good tripod, because stability and being able to like pan left and right is probably one of the most underrated things that a lot of like college kids that help film a point for their team during a tournament can't do well.
Mm-hmm.
I like the backfield angle. That's the angle I've always used. I hate the side angle unless you're like up on a scaffold. I've always liked the backfield angle. Height is always nice, but you can't always get it, obviously, unless you're on top of a hill or something. But for me, I like to, if you've seen my games, I like to trim it as soon as I film like a point. I don't keep any of the stuff between. I like to just cut it off. But I like to capture the emotions. I always tell people, man, like if you're catching in front of me, like spike the disc and do some crazy shit, like make the emotions there. I feel like Ultimate doesn't do enough of that, but that's why I like to capture like from a sideline. At least you'll get something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done
Yeah.
like stuff with Sky magazine back in the day. I was actually a next gen camera operator for 2014. So for club nationals, or sorry, for college nationals and one, I think one club tournament, I was with the next gen crew. So that's where I like learned like how the streaming process and the
Got it.
broadcasting part
So that's
works.
like
Yeah.
post tour, but while Kevin still had next gen
Yeah, that
filming
was like the
tournaments.
year after their last. It was 2014, so 2013 was their last tour, so it was 2014. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, the emotion piece is super interesting. I wonder if anybody listening is actually interested in filmography. I hope so. But like when uh I have written down in our doc here that I'd sent that 2022 WCC Pony highlight film from Worlds to I sent it to Kins after you released it, and I remember thinking like watching it like there's so many good snippets of it, like BVH giving those the pump up speech right away,
yeah,
like like a bunch of teammate interaction before like it kind of opens. Like the first highlight is like JR cutting deep out of like a kind of a
the
full
zipper.
zipper vert sack play, and it
Yeah,
just like it works with the music so well. And then what I told Kins over text message, like about a year ago, I guess you released it about a year ago, was like that I wanted to feel the way Pony was feeling in that game so badly, because like I feel like he really captured the bonds that they had, and also like how fucking good it feels to win and come
to
out on
win.
top.
Yeah,
No pressure,
I
no
think
Um,
diamond.
no pressure
yeah,
diamond.
no,
Yeah,
No,
no
no
yeah,
pressure,
pressure, no
no
diamond.
doubt.
yeah. BVH gives some good speeches, that's for sure. There's so many more that I just cut because I just can't keep, have a 20-minute video full of his sayings and stuff. But it's like motivating for myself, just like listening to it. Like you like apply it for your own self. I forgot to mention. I think the key thing for filming for me is the song choice. It sometimes tortures me in finding the song choice because the vibe has to be right. Like it has to be, and it can't be some overplayed song. It has to be something like, something upbeat, but something that not everyone has listened to. I find pride when someone's like, "Yo, I liked your highlight video, but I saved the song in the highlight video. That was a really good song." So that's
Yeah,
for me. It's like the music
I
discovery in people.
that Kygo song, right? It's Freeze, is it?
Freeze, yeah,
Yeah, I actually have listened to it a shit ton since that video. I listened to it a shit ton the last 2 days, just sort of prepping for this conversation with you.
I was gonna say I actually noticed watching the Pata Summer League highlight video that you put together that I really liked the song and the vibe that you created with the, because you had a lot of good. I remember one especially was after a layout, you kept the camera on Rachel Alfano for like a while, like after some dude
yeah,
on her team had like a layout, and she was just like smiling, high fiving everyone. And with the music that you chose, it really created a good vibe. It honestly brought me back because like I grew up there, so
yeah. That's a community.
I really appreciated that video. It was like really fun to go
Thank
back
you.
and watch it, honestly. And I'm
So,
glad
fun
that
fact: that
someone's doing it.
song, that song is one of my coworkers at the hospital's friend's band. So he like was playing it at work one day, and I was like, "Dude, what song is that?" And he like sent me. I Shazammed it, and I was like, "Oh, it kind of goes well with frisbee." So, kind of got that's how it came
Yeah, because
about.
it's
I
something
find my
about
videos,
like,
yeah,
it's what they're saying something in the song like we're gonna. I forget what they're saying. Like we're gonna go. It's something happy, and it made me happy. The whole
something.
thing. I forget what they're saying. You know what I mean? They're repeating the same words like a couple over again, but it was really good.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that one.
nice, nice, thanks.
Um, I was thinking, oh, what are your thoughts around Callahan videos? We've talked about that a little
Ooh,
bit.
don't get me started. Oh, don't get me started.
No,
All
let's get
right.
Oh,
started.
this.
Yeah.
Let's get
Oh,
started.
don't get me
Let's
Let's
go.
started. All right. I don't care about the Callahan anymore. I have zero respect for the Callahan. To me nowadays, Ultra World Player of the Year is the only award that matters. Fuck the Callahan. Callahan is just like NFL player fan favorite award nowadays.
Yep.
Jack Williams got robbed. Caroline Normal got robbed. Jesse Schaffner, 50-50 because Marissa Raptor's video is dope. Henry Ng, like, really?
Yeah, I don't know how
You know,
Henry. We
like,
all thought it was a shoe in that Henry was just going to win.
yeah. So Callahan videos, I mean, nowadays, I feel like you have to just make it hype. It doesn't even matter the play anymore. 10 years ago, if you really think about it, the best highlights are you just clap catching because you just burn someone deep, you know? Now you kind of have to hope that someone throws a shitty throw to you and you like roof them. You know, that's kind of like essentially what you got to do. Um, I think music is everything for a Callahan video. I think now in retrospect, I don't know if the Henry and Callahan video was hype enough. I know Max and I like helped work on it. Max Charles, who does like he did Michael's video. It was a great edit. Don't get me wrong, it was a sick edit. But a lot of people were like, I wish Henry's video was like a trap hype rap, like you know one of those kind of like hard hitting like kind of
Yeah.
music choices. I think that would have helped him. Like Alex, I liked yours. You know that was like you know it was
Let's tell
very in your
Levi.
face.
Yeah, tell
Shout out
Yeah.
Levi Tapper.
So I think it all depends on the music. I think music makes or breaks it. There's some good players that honestly didn't have the best music choices. I thought Liam's great, like
bad
the
song.
music choice was just like
Too cute. Bad
I don't
song.
remember
Yeah.
that one.
It was weird. It's
So-
not memorable. Not
Yeah.
a good song.
I think there's hype songs that are inherently terrible songs, but like are good just because of the video. And the one I'm thinking of is Nut, Jonathan Nethercutt. Like that
Yeah.
song sucks so badly. but the like it's just so like hype. Like it's just the craziest
Yeah.
EDM you ever heard. And it like where it's very memorable and it's very
Yeah.
upbeat. It's like it works with the video even though the song sucks.
And even
So-
like
Yeah.
Babbitts, you know, like Babbitts is so interesting and outside of the
Yeah.
box. But it's like if as long as you create the right, you know, vibe with and you can compile the videos in such a way that you put everything together. Like that,
Yeah.
I agree with your thing about Henry's because when I think of Henry, yeah, I think of hard hitting. Like I honestly don't remember what song he chose or what. Like I don't really remember the video too much, but something like hard hitting would be like just. I like when the song kind of emulates the player, and you kind of like when you get that like Elijah Long's was kind of funny because he kind of was like too cute, like whatever. Like so it kind of was a funny video, and I thought like did a good
Yeah.
job for
Has
that
anybody
one.
seen Elliot Erickson's here?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I remember
right,
that one.
classic,
Yeah.
classic.
Short people song. I mean that's hilarious. That's fucking
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
so good. That's a great
You
one.
remember Matt Bennett's?
Oh yeah,
I
I'm the
definitely watched
best.
it.
That's-
I'm
Oh,
the best.
Yeah.
I'm the
what is that?
best.
Yep.
Dude, that's
Yep.
classic. Like
Dude,
those
that
are
was-
just some of the classic Callahan videos that'll never die. Like those are just too good. And it's like Texas A&M. It's like 3 different games on like the shittiest field you've ever seen.
Yep.
And like they're not even wearing jerseys, but it's like I'm the best. And he's just throwing like low release air bounce lefties and like 50-yard scoobers. It's
Yeah,
like
dude.
this is
love
the
that
next
scuba.
generation of ultimate.
Well, that's the
What's
thing.
everybody's
It's like it
favorite?
depends on who you're playing against. I feel like
Yeah.
that's why another thing I feel like, you know, who won this year. No disrespect, I'm glad he won. He does a lot for the Atlanta community, and I was talking to a lot of people and like how nice it is for like Emory. You know, they've never had a Callahan nominee, but also like how he is with the community. But if you look at the video, a lot of the plays are against like SEC sectionals level college kids. I mean,
For sure.
Henry's video, your video, you guys are playing against the best of the best and you're making plays on them.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like for Callahan, I think top 5, make it a fan favorite, like make people vote for their top 5. But honestly, the winner should be chosen by like 25 to
committee.
30 like committee panel people.
Yeah.
That's what it should be, but like the Heisman. But I mean, what can you do, you know?
Yeah, that was a big thing for me in my video. I was like, I didn't have many like restrictions for Levi, but I was like, don't put anything from a shitty game, like nothing from MLC, nothing from like a fall tournament. There's like a couple grainy footages in there from like Pres Day that Levi overruled me on that he had to put in. Cause like
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted to be like Ulti-World games from like nationals against like good competition. Cause me personally, I
Yeah.
feel the same way. You're doing a sick layout against a fall tournament against some freshman at like whoever the fuck. It doesn't really get me going, you know, like something at like
Yeah.
a good big game, you make a big play, like that's gonna get me hype. And so that I agree with you on that.
So
Yeah.
Mike Kins and I have talked about this, but I'm curious what you think. How do you feel about like club or AUDL plays in a Callahan video?
I think it's okay if we're voting because Ultimate still is so, you know, it's still in its infancy with like media. I think it's fine. If you're making play like the Callahan, like I get it. You're supposed to technically only showcase the plays they made in one college season. That's like what you're voting on them for. But I think it's fine. Personally, I mean, if I had to edit someone's Callahan video, I would be like, hey, send me all of your plays from everything.
Yeah.
I'd probably say the line I wouldn't cross is like high school clips.
I was thinking the same thing as you were
Yeah,
talking.
Oof,
like
yeah.
Michael Ing and Henry Ing have like Radnor high school
Nah.
like videos, and like there's some clips in there you could probably put in a Callahan video, but it's like nah, it's
I think that
Little
goes back to
too-
the competition thing that we're talking
Yeah.
about. I think
Yeah.
it should
Yeah.
stick to when you were in college. Like I
Yeah.
think anything you did while in college, because I agree, it's like, yeah, if there was a plethora of footage of you in college strictly to choose from, then sure, just leave it to college plays. But like, it's also different in other sports, because in other sports they wouldn't be playing in college and the professional
and club.
thing,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it makes sense for people to put both.
So
Grainy footage.
What's everybody's favorite? Oh, sorry, Mike.
Just asking. Since Ultimate Media is so nascent, what do you think about the grainy footage versus the
grain.
AK quality?
Listen, not for college kids, I get it. I mean, you only have a budget for so much. You can only afford like a $400 $300 camera. I think more college kids should like put together like a team fund every year, or like for at least a 4-year commitment, and just get a nice camcorder or a nice like just something that has good like camera quality. So you'll get at least something nice. But obviously it's college. Like I get it. For club, no excuse. Like like I remember I was with a bunch of guys. Who was I with? I forget, but they were like, yeah, our club team can't afford like, I was like, what if you guys all pitched in like $50? Like you could get a $1,500 camera and you could get all your highlights. And like, nah, it's kind of too much out of our pocket. Like, we can't really afford it. But then they're at the sublimated tent buying like $100 worth of
Dude,
shit. So it's like,
don't get me started
all
on
right, like
what people
priorities, I
spend their
guess.
money on.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Quinn, what were you gonna ask?
I was just gonna say everybody's favorite. Yeah.
Oh,
Mine
all-time
is
Callahan
Stanley
video.
Peterson. Yeah, Stanley Peterson's mine. So
Callahan video.
It's a classic.
And most of his plays were against top offensive players.
Yeah. No. He had a really sick sky. Like when he like jumps over someone. I remember that one.
switches hands.
Yeah.
It's Ironside. Yeah, it's against Ironside.
Yep, 2014 Nationals, Club Nationals.
I think I like Trent's. I love Jack Williams. I like Jesse Schaffner's, Caroline Normiles, Mercer Rafters. I would say Jack's was
I
probably
do remember
one of my favorites.
Mirrors Rafters.
Yeah, Trent. I guess I'm biased with Trent because I helped make it. I give a lot of clips, so I just like the video
Yeah.
because a lot of it was stuff I filmed of him over the years. But I would say like Jack was probably one of my favorites, and Jr. I completely forgot. Jr's video was hype. That was good.
Nah, his suck.
Yeah.
Nah, he was overhyped for sure.
Oh man.
That's a tough question for me, though. Honestly, you putting me on the spot. I don't know. Kins had a good one.
Like my
Yeah.
video. Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it your favorite?
Is it my favorite?
I like Kins too.
I mean,
but-
the easy answer for me is Stanley as well.
Yeah.
But
I know, that's what I
both
would
of us are.
answer,
I mean, we're
too.
biased.
We're all biased.
He's like 20 feet away from me right now. Like,
We're all just
So-
Smith fanboys.
Just start shitting on his video, Mikey.
All right,
I'll
who's
tell
got the
him how
worst
much it's
video?
like.
Where are we going with like who's a popular player that had a horrible fucking
I mean, I think Liam's
Matt
was
Bennett.
bad.
Oh,
No,
Liam's is pretty-
Liam for who Liam is and what his video like could have and should have been. It was very underwhelming when it came out,
that's fair.
and it was like
I agree.
it could have been fucking sick. It could be like boom, 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 and it's just Liam blowing up people and like winning shit and making bad
Yeah.
plays. And instead, like, God, I don't even remember what fucking song that was. But I
Should
would
we be
say
doing-
honestly, that
Should
one.
we be doing Club Player of the Year highlight videos?
I think that'd be a great idea. I think
The
Ultiworld
more the
nowadays is
merrier.
filming enough. Yeah, more media the merrier. Yeah, I would watch that. I would vote for it too if I could. I'd be like help choose my top whatever. Yeah, 100%.
because there's not a lot of career highlight videos. Also, if you think about it, because like in other sports, you can look at like whatever player you want, you can get like a career video. Like there's really,
Yeah.
I was watching your one of the ones I was watching that Bo video of yours,
I
say
remember
Bo
that.
or whatever.
Say Bo. Oh my
What's
That
that
god,
one's-
one?
that's fun.
Oh, you have to watch. It's just a Bo highlight film, but like, there's not a lot of that in Ultimate, and honestly, that's something that would be really cool. And it's just like kind of a thankless job. Like whoever's gonna make
Yeah.
go through like all the video for some like person.
Brody
but
Smith
that would
has
be
one.
cool.
Brody's
deserves
got like
one.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brody. But that makes sense too because he was like a content creator. So like, of course, it was Brody that has a video. But
Yeah.
it'd be cool to have more of like any player. They could go through so many players. It would be awesome to have a compilation of all their highlights in one place. It'd be so
Yeah.
sick. It'd be really
problem
sick.
is
I have a hot
somebody
take
else
that
has to
I
do it,
think.
though.
Oh, go ahead.
The problem is somebody else has to do it because like if you're that
Yeah.
guy that makes your own highlight video and like posts it, like everybody hates you.
But it'd be
So-
cool. It'd be cool.
It's unfortunate, but I feel like somebody
Ro-
else has to like take it on themselves.
Rowan does it, but he also releases the low light video. I think
Yeah,
that
that's-
evens it
Yeah.
out.
Even it out, yeah.
Evens it out. Yeah. I mean, I still have a hot take that I think 7 Brodies would beat anyone in Frisbee. without
Ooh,
a
I love
question.
this conversation.
Prime Brodies.
Yeah. 7
We-
prime Brodies. There's not anyone in the like you can give me anyone. There's not anyone that 7 prime Brodies beats.
I mean, he was kind of the epitome of like throwing and being huge.
Yeah,
He
you could
was-
have put
he
him
was-
anywhere. So
He was Jimmy before Jimmy.
Jimmy,
You know,
prime Jimmy and prime Brody would be a good.
I was gonna say, I might-
person matchup.
I might take Prime Jimmy over Prime Brody, but I'm biased because Jimmy's more my time.
yeah.
We were actually having the
It's tough.
three of
It's
us
tough.
Bravo coaches were having this conversation at Pro Champs about honestly like our players. We decided that Seven Atkins would lose to other players because you would
They
just
would cannibalize themselves.
you would
Yeah.
dynamite yourselves.
No, we wouldn't. We because Seven Atkins aren't getting as pissed because Seven Atkins aren't doing the dumb shit you're gonna see on a regular basis that other teams that
or
we may be doing.
maybe you all of a sudden you realize that you actually do some dumb shit too.
That is true. It would be so funny. God, that's why we need like, virtual reality, that kind of stuff so that we can make clone 7 anyone's, but I would love to see 7 Atkins try to play.
So the bracket though, the 1 seeds of a seven versions of one player. Brony might be up there for sure. Kurt would be up there for me.
Yeah.
Mike
Maybe Cassidy, maybe.
Cassidy's too small.
Yeah, that's right.
I would choose Mike Grant is maybe too much before the time of definitely Quinn and Kins. AK, I don't know if you were able to watch Mike Grant play at all.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I
Furious
just watched on
George,
YouTube. Yeah.
Stalwart. Yeah, like he was a big man, very athletic, and those Furious teams had one of the best throwers and Jeff Cruikshank.
Right.
Mike Grant was a little bit younger and probably the best player in the world, and Andrew Lugsden, who was another phenomenal receiver, and I think he was like 6'6", could move like a 6 foot guy. Those Furious teams were stacked with talent.
Mark Lloyd, that's another one.
Mhm.
Solid player.
Mark Lloyd would be
Yeah, still like Brody and Jimmy are so big, but like I think it depends.
Yeah.
It depends on some conditions, I guess, probably as well. Like, maybe if it's
We're
like
really
really
getting into
windy.
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
How was their day? Like, how was their mental state that day?
What are they feeling like?
I,
Oh, man.
I wanted to ask you. I was watching another one I was watching before this was the Florida United Sockeye.
Yeah.
I guess it was pool play at whatever
Is this
nationals that
2017?
was. Yeah. Just what was it like? What was it like watching
my
that
God.
game? That's
So
it's so funny to watch. It's so good. It's so good. Anybody who
A
hasn't
little
watched
backstory
it,
give us
on that shit.
give us the backstory.
Yeah.
So I'm cursed until Pony this year, or last year at Club Nationals. I'm cursed. Every team I've ever filmed at Club Nationals has never won a pool play game. Truck Stop 2013, Patrol 2016. I was on the media pass to go with Temper one year, but I had to drop out because I had an exam that I just couldn't postpone. So technically, I was their media guy, so I'm gonna still count it. And then Sockeye in 2017, like literally 0 for 15 in pool play. So the joke was like, I told Brian Jones, like, dude, if you want me to come out to nationals, you're not winning a game. And he was like, I'll take the bet. Honestly, from what I noticed as a camera guy, them not having their coach on day one is what fucked them, because Florida was their like first game, if I remember correctly, and that threw them off their mojo for the rest of the day. That's why they lost to Pony, and that's why they lost to Machine. Like, that game was windy, and I think Florida, in my opinion, I think Sockeye was more unspirited than Florida was in that game. If you
Really?
watch, they really get into I forget his name. One of the handlers' heads, number 87 on Sockeye. I forget his name. Old revolver player too. I'm forgetting his name.
CK Chris
Katsenar. Yeah. They really get into his head in that game. I love the Jeremy Langdon spike. I think the sport needs more of that. I honestly think they just had him in their heads the whole way, and they played the 4-man cup pretty well. I think that was what took them to the quarterfinals that year, I think. But it was interesting. I mean, you could see the team like just kind of implode after that. So everyone talks about the Sockeye Florida United game, but watch the Sockeye like Pony and the Sockeye Machine game. Like, they just look horrible. Like they get crushed. And then they all get drunk. So this is my funny, I guess, whatever TMI story. They all get drunk at the Sockeye house that night because they don't give a fuck. They've lost every game. And I had a bed spot in their like Airbnb or whatever. And this was 2017. So I was 23 then. So I was still kind of young, I still wasn't like actively independent. Like, I would still stay in the team hotel or whatnot. And they all got like pissed drunk, and like Dylan Freechild and like Billy Katz, I think, were like butt naked on my bed spot. And that was like the only bed spot of the hotel, of the Airbnb. And I was like, I don't want to sleep here. Like, there was nowhere else to sleep. I just didn't feel right sleeping there after they got like smashed. So I ended up going to the local poker room, and I ended up playing poker all night, and not sleeping. And that's what I did. And I won a couple $100, but that was my Sockeye story, where I didn't sleep at their house after the first night.
Unreal.
That's hilarious.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And Freechild's still dynamiting today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, what about 7 Freechild?
Too small. I just won't take anybody under 6 foot.
Small.
Yeah.
I would say there's better throwers, in my opinion. Like I said, I think 7 Brodies or 7 Jimmies in the wind would beat 7 Freechilds. I think 7 Brodies, 7 Jimmies would beat him in the air too. Yeah. But Dylan's a cool dude, though.
On the same vein, just to jump into some fan questions. Actually,
hit me.
It is pronounced Shashank. Is that right?
Yeah,
Your
Shank.
good buddy.
Shank. Yeah.
Shank. Yeah. He's been fan of the pod, loyal listener. Thank you.
Yeah.
And a few other folks have asked things in the same vein. He actually asks least favorite team filmed, but a lot of people did ask favorite game filmed and favorite tournaments filmed. So Timmy J and Shakar also asked about your favorite games and favorite tournaments. Maybe start with Shanks.
Shanks, yeah. Least favorite team to film.
Can you say that out loud?
2017.
I'm not going to say Rutgers. Don't worry, Shank. I love filming Rutgers. Shank went to Rutgers, so
yeah.
That's a tough question. Maybe I'm biased, man. I mean, Penn State, as a Penn State alumni, it was frustrating to film because we never like took it to the show despite the talent we had. But I wouldn't say they were the least favorite to film. I enjoyed filming. I've liked filming everyone, honestly. Damn. I got to think about that one. I'll come back to that. I got to think about it. Because sometimes bad wind makes a team like horrible. Like, I'm not trying to watch 50 turnovers if it's horrible weather. So is it the weather or is it the team? You know what I mean?
Good point.
Yeah.
It's the team. They should adjust.
They should persevere.
Yeah.
Well, maybe tournament then. Whether it's a recurring one like nationals, or was there like a specific event tournament that that sits above the rest?
Mid-Atlantic regionals, baby. Mid-Atlantic regionals and club nationals. Yeah.
Tell
Gotta
me
love my
why
regionals.
Mid-Atlantic regionals?
The fact that those are in
Because
the
it's
same
fucking
category.
hype, dude. Because it's
hype.
fucking hype. That's why.
Yeah,
That's your home
It's the
region.
nationals before nationals.
yeah. A lot of those teams play really close. Like Temper used to always beat Patrol on day 1 and then lose to Patrol on day 2 to go to Natties. GSU, now Vault, but Medmen and Temper and I guess Truck would all play pretty close games. Now Truck just crushes everyone. But those games like 2013 to 2017 are pretty hype. And it's a great tournament to go to in the rain, sun, like, it's close. It's nice. But obviously Club Nationals is up there. But over anything, I love the college vibe. I think college filming, capturing the emotions at college nationals is probably the most like emotions you get out of people, because club, you can play with the same guys for the rest of your life if you wanted to, but college, it's like I only have 5 years, or I guess with COVID, like fucking 7 years or whatever they're doing,
Yeah.
to win a national championship. So like the investment, you can see the investment, because those are your brothers at the end of the day. So I love filming college nationals with Pitt. That's why I go every year with them.
Yeah, there's an electricity around college nationals that you really can't match. It's I think it's the same thing with all sports. Although I will say I am generally not a college sports fan, but
Uh-huh.
it's probably because like I have close ties to college ultimate that I there's something that you just
Yeah.
can't beat it.
But now we got CU Buffs football.
Go Buffs,
report,
baby. Go
Let's
Buffs.
go.
Coach Prime, let's
Dude,
go.
where's my
Dude.
Prime
Let's go,
shirt?
Buffs.
I got my Prime shirt in my room. Coach Prime. My Coach
Dude,
Prime CU Buffs
I'm
shirt.
so mad at myself. I almost put Colorado in like a 17 parlay that week, man. And I chickened out last minute. They were the juice. It was like plus 250 or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was,
Yup.
yeah.
All the way,
But
baby. College football playoff.
shoulda, woulda, coulda. I could see it happening. I mean,
No, I don't know,
It's
man.
a-
We'll see. But it
Never
is
know.
exciting.
Damn,
It is exciting. We get to go. We've had a long-standing tradition to ticket at the CU football games as Mama Bird, which means you can get in if
Go to
you
games for
want
free.
to.
Shh.
Nice,
shh.
nice.
Yeah, hopefully
listening.
no
They're
CU
listening.
administrators listening to this podcast.
Whoops.
In the same vein, this is gonna be a tough question, but what's your like favorite clip that you've ever gotten? Favorite
clip.
play?
Favorite celebration, I'll go with celebration first, is the Miles Cooper layout Callahan at last year's national championships. If you could see it in my highlight reel from my like 2022 highlight reel, but also
Yeah.
from last year's Pitt highlight reel. That one, and honestly, I think the Babbitt play from Worlds was just a spectacle.
Sick.
You can hear it, like you could feel him landing, and like all of these like international players are just like screaming.
Is that the
and it was
backside?
unexpected.
Which one was
That
that?
was against Rhino?
Yeah.
The backside
Against
layout.
Rhino, yeah.
Yeah.
And
that
that's the
one.
It was
play
on
I was
Sportsnet.
talking
Gnarly.
about. We had Hayden on last week, and he was like, "What's your favorite play to make?" And that's the one I was talking about. Backside boom down. So good.
And the way he like rolls and then like throws himself to his feet,
He always just like pops up.
lumbers back to the goal line. Like, oh my god! Like,
Yeah. He just hops back up. I have no idea how he does that.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. What about the? I think you filmed this one at the Christian Boxley.
Oh shit! Yeah,
For
I forgot
Georgetown.
about that.
That
Oh my
Yeah,
god, that
I-
tournament, dude.
I love Christian Boxley. Like he's like one of my favorite players, and like I played U24 with him, so like I love that guy. So I'm partial, but that play was fucking crazy. Like
I remember
insane.
that. Oh yeah, okay, that's actually probably up there with the Babbitt play. Honestly,
Mhm.
if in terms of craziest thing, like crazy, that's number one without a doubt, because
For
it was on
sure.
Universe Point. It was against Wilmington, who was like the head-on. They were probably minus 500 to win that game before the game started.
At least.
And the guy decided to throw a full field huck on Universe Point, and him catching it for I guess there was a multiple layouts in it too, and the
It's like
greatest.
the greatest multiple, and it's
Nuts.
like
Fucking
Georgetown.
ridiculous.
Like
Wow, I need
Yeah.
to pull this up. I don't know if I've ever watched this.
Dude,
You haven't
my
seen it?
God.
It's
What,
it's
dude? What are you?
it's my
like
most watched video on my
yeah.
channel.
How is
Yeah,
it
go
possible?
straight
that
like
I
one of the
haven't seen-
channel.
craziest frisbee plays ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Everyone can do a favor and go watch that.
All right,
Okay, did you ever film some citywide games back in the day?
I think one or two back in like 2015, 2016.
Okay.
When like Kevin Tang still played on Citywide. Like this was like way back. But I
Okay,
filmed like
yeah.
Citywide versus like Temper and stuff. So
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
trying to see if you had because
Dude,
I feel
I
like
really don't think I filmed you other than when you played with Patrol. I don't think I filmed you or Quinn. I
yeah,
don't think I filmed. Yeah.
There's
no,
still a
probably
Listen,
not.
chance. You could
But
come
come
film for
Nationals.
Bravo. Yeah.
Listen,
You
you
could
will
come for
definitely get a
Bravo.
game this year for sure.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Because
Without a
I was
doubt.
wondering, because one of my favorite highlight videos is we made a citywide special highlight video in 2017, and there's a lot of footage from regionals at that. And I was wondering if you had potentially, because like we have one against like MedMen. There's a bunch of like crazy stuff, but it's always on
Yeah.
that turf. And I didn't remember if it was yours or not, because I feel like we should put a montage of some good clips up
stuff.
here. Yeah,
If
like
it was at the turf, it wasn't me then because I filmed citywide back when it was in DC and like somewhere random in PA. Not like you know how they've been doing in Delaware the last like 7 years.
yeah,
Yeah, not there. I definitely didn't film them there. I don't think.
yeah,
Yeah.
pre my time. But yeah, no, I always find it interesting. I wanted to go back. We were talking about the GSU players. I looked at the roster. There's three GSU players on Pony right now, and I know that Mark had played for Pony for a while. So
Yeah.
it's just cool. It's just cool to see, like, these are all guys that like when I was like a young kid, like playing Garden State and stuff on Citywide, and then you go up and it's like, yeah, like Shank, Jabron.
Yep.
Like I remember Jabron when he blew up as a defender and whatever that was like.
Dude, I played against Jabron in high school. He played for Westfield for a year. He was still like, he had a huge afro back then, but Jabron was always good.
Yeah,
Jabron,
he was all
even on Rutgers was always good. Him and Scott Shue like were always good for Rutgers. Yeah.
Quinn's shaking his head probably because he has nightmares about Jabron.
I can't say enough good stuff about Jabron as a defender, and of course he marks me every time we play him.
What's funny is I don't think I ever had to match up against him because I never thought like I always knew who he was. I'm too big. I always knew who he was and like and that kind of stuff, but I had never thought of him so highly. And then it was just interesting to see him win like Defensive Player of the Year. Same with Marquez. I always thought that was really interesting. Like because he was on GSU for a long time, and we used to
for a long
him.
time, yeah.
And I just remember, I just remembered him for his pulls. I just remembered he had really good pulls, but
yeah. Marquez, I mean, in the last 2 years, he's stepped up. I think with elite coaching and like playing Empire, like he's just,
he's
his
clearly
level's
a
gone
much
up
better
a ton.
player now. Yeah.
So
I think Jabron is the best defender in the world, but maybe that's because he's like the perfect matchup for me. But
better than
he's
Spicer.
He's my pick for best defender in the world. Well, I cook Spicer at practice too much to pick him, so
I think
Tony has a lot of those guys.
Yeah, Pony does have a lot of those.
Pony does.
Yeah. I'm partial. I think Spice is up there for sure, though.
Yeah, I agree. Going off the Marquez thing, do you guys ever? What's your relationship like with him? You guys ever like chat about like cameras and stuff? Because I just saw like a TikTok of him at the Apple event, and he had this like insane camera to film the new iPhone. I was just like,
dude,
and he's with Tim Cook, right, the Apple CEO, I think.
Yeah. I played against him in high school when he was on Columbia. When he played on Stevens Tech, one of his former roommates when he was on Stevens Tech lived in my neighborhood. He went to West Windsor, so like he was always kind of associated with the West Windsor guys. I've actually been to his studio a couple of times. He used to play McCuddle every year. Him and his now one of his producers, Andrew Manganelli. He is a GSU guy. All played for the Hammerheads.
That's so crazy.
R.I.P.
So we've hung out. Like
I love that
name,
by the way, the Hammerheads.
Hammerheads.
I think that's a good Frisbee name.
Yeah. So I've been to a studio like once or twice. And I remember once I forgot a tripod and like messaged him. I was like, dude, like, can I borrow a tripod? And he happened to have one in the back of his car. And I think it was his Tesla still. And I borrowed that for a tournament when I was filming GSU. Nice. And then I asked him once, like, dude, I need some recs for some tripods. And this was when like I was still in college. Like I didn't really have money to afford for like a good tripod. And he sent me some recommendations and like the cheapest one was like $4,000. And I was like, you're killing me, man. Like I was looking for something like 400 maybe,
Only the best for Marquez.
Yeah. But now I get why you make the investment in a tripod. Making an investment in a good tripod is the equivalent of making a good investment in a mattress. Good sleep, it's like that same thing. You have to invest in a good tripod.
So you're saying is there a price range? What makes a good tripod? Because now I'm curious because I thought I had a good tripod.
How much was yours, Mike?
I got it on sale.
500, probably 400. Not enough.
No. Probably even cheaper than that. I'm sure.
I paid like 1,500 for mine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
It's a
But it's worth it.
it's worth it, yeah. But my camera needs a bigger tripod in general. But like it's the head, like having a fluid head that's like able to be removed from the tripod, like the dynamic control where it's like levels very quick, and the smoothness of like actually like panning and like tilting. You have to pay a premium for that,
Got
unfortunately.
it.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
Do you film anything else?
I do like engagement videos for friends. People have asked me for weddings and stuff, but honestly, it's too stressful, and I don't
Yeah.
enjoy doing. I don't like being on like their time clock and being paid to do that shit. So I'll do engagement engagement videos for fun for free. Um, Really, it's just frisbee and like that, and honestly, like I guess like engagement proposals and like maybe a kid's birthday every now and then. That's really all I do nowadays. Yeah.
What about the photography side? Anything there?
Nah, those I think I
All
started
video.
off doing photography, but then I've always enjoyed film. I don't like taking photos to be honest. Yeah, I like the film part now. So, yeah.
There's a
It's a
lot
tough
of
career too. Like I honestly I feel for the guys that do photography full time, because if you don't have if you don't do like weddings or like baby showers or whatever, like it's really hard to get gigs. I feel like it's oversaturated.
yeah.
But
There's a lot of Pony Empire weddings coming up. Is this weekend a Pony Empire wedding? Is it Ben Yacht? It's got to
Is
be
he getting
soon,
married?
right?
I think he's
He
coming
did.
up. I just congratulated him on Instagram the other day.
Yeah, it's
I'm
coming.
not
I know
sure
it's
when.
coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't been to too many frisbee weddings, ironically.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I've been to, and I'm getting to the age where it's now second round, where second marriage. I don't
Oh,
go.
the
Sorry,
divorce. Yeah, yeah.
I don't go to second weddings. Sorry,
Like if
sorry,
someone's getting
parents.
married for the
Yeah,
second time, you
yeah.
don't go. Yeah, it's like this is
Just don't get him a wedding gift. Like, dude, I got you for the first wedding. Like, no gift today.
right. At this point,
Yeah.
it's like, are you just milking me? Like, how many times are you gonna get married just for my gifts?
I remember, I think Dylan Freechild's wedding. I think a lot of the pony guys were there for that one. 'Cause I think Jimmy was like best man or something. I forget. He was like he gave a speech or something. I remember him
Oh,
telling me about
really?
that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that they were like
Yeah.
that close.
Yeah, they're close for
tight.
the. I think the next gen days and all the world scenes. I think they even played under 20 or
they
junior
did. Yeah.
worlds together.
That's
Just
crazy.
want to shout out the pod. Jimmy Mickle owes me $20 on a sports bet back at the
We'll get him.
content tour, and he still has not paid me.
We'll get
Just
him.
throwing it out there.
Dude.
He ain't paying. He's not
Number
good for
one
it.
most wanted Jimmy Mickle. If you see him, citizens arrest him.
Yeah,
$20.
We're taking him to small claims court.
We got his face on our jerseys for our club sectionals team this past weekend too. He's got to cough up $20.
Wow.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
So
Who between Marquez and Jimmy, when you're walking around a tournament, from your observation, who gets stopped more?
Marquez, without a doubt. Yeah.
Good.
Marquez
Good.
by anyone. Like at Worlds, Marquez was just getting like hammered by people. Like
Yeah, like
constantly.
for like real
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. No, even frisbee people.
Real
Marquez is like
people.
up there. Yeah. I think the problem is we're biased, right? Like we'll walk by Jimmy or whatever and like we don't feel anything because we're in the US and these are the players we compete with or hang out, see around all the time. Like I've never asked Marquez for like a photo or like an autograph or anything. It just doesn't, you don't view it like that. But I feel like a lot of the international players, they really only they watch the AUDL, they watch like the club series, like they watch all of our format. So like these are the players they've like idolized, and for them it's like an idolization because they never see them. So I think for those reasons, like when they like for worlds and stuff, they get like hounded a lot. But like at a normal like club nationals tournament, I mean, you're gonna maybe some kid or some high schooler that is in San Diego for the weekend watching, but like you're not gonna see too many like actual frisbee players like go up for like a picture or something usually. So
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah.
I did play in a Vegas team with Jimmy in like 2015, and there was a team that literally stopped him, and they all like bowed to him. It was the strangest
No
thing.
way.
It's crazy.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
Give us some for any like aspiring maybe videographers. We do actually have a couple other fan questions. Aaron Strikantha, I don't know how to say it, asks.
True. Yeah, he's one of my boys.
Oh, okay. He asked what lens you use. So, but the question is, I'll broaden it, and it will be, in addition to investing in a nice tripod, what should we look to capture as fans of Ultimate, and also talk a little bit about the process of like, post editing. What software do you use?
Yeah.
Actually, speaking about Marquez, I know Marquez always talks, if you're trying to get into YouTube, just start recording, don't worry about equipment. But are there levels to it for you?
Definitely. Camera wise, I mean, it all depends on the budget, right? Like my sensor on my camera is like really good. Obviously, Marquez's cameras are like 10, 20 times what I spent on mine. Like overall, I think I spent with tripod, camera, lens like 19,000 for everything. So it's an investment. The
Mm-hmm.
camera, the body itself is like 4,800. And I bought extra batteries, memory cards. The memory cards are expensive. Like,
What
and
kind of
you have to
body
have a
is it?
laptop. It's a A7S3. It's a
Oh
Sony
yeah,
A7S3. Yeah,
I know,
beautiful camera. I mean,
I have the A7C. I'm not quite as, I'm not investing for that type of venture,
yeah,
but I've heard many, many, many good things about that camera from a lot of different
it's
YouTubers.
phenomenal. I mean, you can see on like the quality, like when I zoom in with the 200, 600 lens, like, you get like the hairs of someone's hair, or the hair of someone like all the way in the backfield. Um, I use DaVinci Resolve, so I don't really like Premiere or Adobe in general. I really like DaVinci, and I recommend it to anyone because it's very easy to use. It's free. You can get a premium one, but you don't need the premium one. You
Is
can
that
use a free
right?
one. Yeah, and DaVinci's the
That's good
vibe.
to know.
Charles Cleary, do you know Unchuckable? He
I
uses
have
DaVinci.
his name listed here.
Yeah.
Because I went to college with him. He's quite a bit younger than me. We might
Oh
have
shit.
overlapped for a year, but
Iowa
yeah, I was
State,
gonna
right?
ask. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Charles and I are good friends. We always share an Airbnb together for every club and college nationals. Yeah.
Wow.
So he's the guru. Like when I tell people like, hey, AK, like, can you give me advice for like camera stuff? I'm like, dude, talk to him because he has like the knowledge, like every like wire to get, like how to store your data, like every setting on the camera. Like I owe him everything for that. Like he set my camera up. My camera's actually named Chuck after him. So
No way. I love
yeah.
that. Um,
So
every year, actually, he's kind enough to message me early before anybody books him for nationals, and he's like, "Mike, do you want me for Mama Bird?" And I always
yeah,
message the captains, and they're like, "Nah, we can't afford it." I'm like, "Dude, like these are your fucking core memories." Like,
yeah,
sort of like what you were saying
sure,
earlier, $50 a player. Like, just need $20 a player, you get memories for a lifetime,
yeah.
and he's good.
They'll regret it later, I guess.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
listen, I don't charge. I mean, if you want to help pay for my flight, I mean, I appreciate it. But I'm just tied to the pit team. But like any random tournament, like if I'm not working that weekend, I mean, I don't mind coming out. You know,
You booked for
keep me in the
club?
loop. I'm filming. I'll be filming Pony, but I mean, I guarantee you guys got a Bravo game, 100%.
Alrighty.
If we
Don't worry.
beat Pony in an elimination game, let's say it's like not like if it's like quarters or something, will you
Yeah.
stop? Like, will you leave them and join us?
Forever.
Or if we
Well,
beat Pony at all, like let's say we beat Pony in pool play, will you
You're
just
ours.
stop?
That's it.
You like what if we play them for you? Like
play
if we
them.
beat them, yeah. Like if we beat them, you come with us for the rest of the tourney.
For AK.
You know,
Listen,
this is
if
free.
I'm filming my boys on Pony, I can't leave them. You know. But I will happily. I mean, if Ponies are done in pool play or they lose in quarters or something, you guys are still in semis. Like I'll come out and film semi, get some highlight reel footage.
Heck
What
yeah.
about
So
Bird? If Bird beats Pitt, we play for AK. It's like it's whatever you're normally playing for in the tournament and for AK. Bird beats Pitt, you got to stop filming Pitt. You film Bird.
forever? Oh, that's tough.
No, no, no,
I have
not
long
forever.
ties
Rest of the
to. Oh,
tournament.
just for the
Rest of the
weekend.
tournament.
I think
Yeah,
I'd do that. I think I would
yeah,
do that.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
you should. I think that would
Listen,
make sense.
Mama Bird is getting a really good player. That kid on RDU, Rally Durham United,
Oh,
that
Tobias.
Tobias Harris,
Tobias
Toby.
Harris.
dude, that kid is good. He's really
He's
good.
good. He's
He
good.
single-handedly beat Pony at Phantom Invite, like single-handedly.
Oh, that they
4
beat Pony at
goals,
Bannerman. I
4.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, they beat Pony. That's how RDU earned the bid. They beat Pony at that tournament, and
Oh my
that kid is
god.
good.
The
Yeah.
truth. I haven't met him
He's
yet,
gonna be.
but I'm excited to meet him.
Yeah, he's gonna be something else, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get him
Yeah.
here on Bravo and all this stuff sooner or later.
We don't
You
have
never know.
we're taking tomorrow off of Bravo practice, so actually I think I'm going to stop by Mama Bird Trouts and say hi to Tobias for the first time this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot school's already started. I'm just.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're too old. But yeah.
Okay. Ripping through some other fan questions here, if you don't mind. Some of them don't make sense to me, so hopefully they are appropriate.
I have no filter.
Let's see. Brendan Gasper asks, Reeb, is that Reebok or Roots?
Reeb, baby, Reeb.
What is he?
It's a Pennsbury summer league team that played at McCuddle this year, and I picked up with them last minute for the A League, like the competitive division. I picked up with them last minute, and we had some of those SEPTA guys on it, like not Sam Grossberg. Some of those Philly guys played on it, and the other Roots' second team, Double Dutch, they had like Sam Grossberg, and some of the like Wissahickon people play. But Reeb is just a summer league team. Go Reeb.
I don't think people really get how good those summer leagues are. Like, you can explain it for as long as you can, but people don't understand until they show up.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Some of those games, I mean, it was like Quinn Hunziker, Sean Mott, Noah Saul, Isaac Saul, Betches. How do you say his last name? I can never say. Is it Betches?
I say Beaches.
Beaches. Okay.
Beaches. Yeah, it's
Beaches. Like Tim Morrissey, like Scott Shue, like Trent, like all these guys would be playing in that division back in the day. Every year it's competitive. Like a lot of the players on A League, like they're not really in the Frisbee community. They really don't play club that much. They're just too occupied with their lives. But a lot of them are like really good. That's the thing. Like they're people you've never heard of, but you would take them on any club team because they're
It actually
really
sounds
good.
pretty sick because that's kind of where I'm at in life. I'm not trying
Mikey,
to.
you would love it, dude. It is so hype, and that one I think is just open. McCuddle is just.
Yeah, there's a mixed league, there's a men's league, and then there's the A League. And A League is all like it's invite only, but like the top 2 teams. Oh, here's another thing that no one else ever does and Ultimate needs to do. The finals are best out of 3. So each game is a game to 17. And there was one year where the finals was 17-16, 16-17, 17-16.
Holy shit.
It was, yeah.
God
So,
yeah, that's fucking awesome. And then PATA Summer League FPSL is mixed. So, and both are so fun, man. Like the draft is extensive. Like my dad for Summer League, one of the reasons he was so good at being a captain was because he did his homework on drafts. I remember we'd be driving in the fields. He's like, yeah, I got this Duke kid in the 6th round. Like no one knows, but he's like 6'5" and he used to play soccer. Yeah. Like it's his second year playing Ultimate. He's like a 6'5" soccer player, and you're like, what the fuck? And then he's a stud. He's just a stud in Summer League. You got to get the pickups that people don't know about. But the draft is like a really fun thing. Like I never did it.
I love the draft.
Yeah, because the year I was a captain, my dad drafted for me because I was like, yeah, fuck it. And I think I was like at a patrol tournament or something. And the draft is like exciting. Like it's crazy. Like my dad retired from Philly Summer League because we were going to baggage together and they were going to take like a 4th round draft pick for my dad. And he's like 50 something and was like,
that's too early.
He was like on the way out of Ultimate and he was like so high up in the draft and he was like, fuck it. And he just quit instead of taking a high draft pick. He just didn't play. And so that was the end of my dad's Summer League career. So instead of playing with me, he didn't want to take a high draft pick. He just dipped. It was fucking
Mike, I forgot to mention McCuddle's the oldest Summer League in the world. What's crazy about the A League is there's a team called the Mud Sharks, and I played with them for a couple of years. Some of those guys have been playing together on that same club team since like 1973 or something.
No.
So like I played with them one year, and this dude like came behind me, and he was like altering my flick, like he was trying to like show me like to alter my flick, And I was kind of a little cocky. I was like, dude, who the fuck is this old
Yeah.
head like teaching me how to do this? And someone whispered to me, he's like, dude, that's the guy that invented the flick. Like he invented
No.
that throw in like the 70s. And I was like, holy shit. So the history of McCuddle is like very rich. Like you'll have guys that like
That's
play for
crazy.
40, 50 years.
My
Like, because
dad
some of
talks
them are,
about it all the time.
yeah, there's a lot of history in McCuddle. I mean, the league's the oldest league in the world. So there's people that have been playing since the 80s, 70s, 90s, and they have so much to talk about. That's what I love after the games. Like people just come about. Some people, spark up a bit, bring some brews, and they just
Because
talk for
it's
hours.
literally where the sport was invented.
Yeah.
And it's how it like should be played. Like not how it should be played, but at a casual level, it's how it should be. One of my dad's like biggest brags is that he was like 101 in like Mercer County Summer League, which I believe is McCuddle, right?
Yeah, McCuddle, yeah.
Yeah, right. Mercer County. Yeah. Like he talks about that all the time. It's like so fun.
It's a vibe.
And it's like and the community, like I think it's the biggest thing is that the community it creates. Like one of the reasons I like watching your finals video was because like bringing me back, not only seeing the clubhouse and the fields and all that, but like everyone circled around the one game for the finals. And I mean, I literally like paused it at a couple of points because I was looking into the crowd, seeing like, oh, it's like Jim Bros is still there. Like, because Billy and Tommy Maroon like used to play. The guy Billy Maroon who's playing Trey in the finals like used to play with my dad. Like I think we had some of his hair in our house for a while because he had dreads, and so he like cut it off, and like we had his fucking hair. My mom was like, "No, you got to get rid of the hair in like the Ziploc bag."
That makes sense.
Crazy shit. But it's just such a community. It's so great, and like I think it's something that I wish other states could emulate and had, because like if Colorado actually has a pretty good like summer league, but it's also the amount of people. Like
it's too many.
No, there's not enough. Like there's so many people that played in Philly. Like at its prime when I was playing the summer league that was the most competitive was 42 teams of double-digit people.
Yeah. Wisconsin's even more, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they have the biggest insane. Summer league's a vibe, because another thing is I think in Jersey this still exists. A lot of the pro players, a lot of club players still play summer league. So like they still give, you get to play with the best. Like McCuddle, until like AUDL started, now they have all these fucking practices during summer league days, but like Shank still plays McCuddle. A-League, like Roots and PTA, which are the best two teams that compete in the finals every year, like all those guys are club nationals level players, like all of them. Like you could have an entire, I would say if you take the best out of PTA and Roots, they would make club nationals without a doubt. They would beat Temper. They would beat Patrol. They would beat,
because it's not a hot take. It's not a hot take at all.
I love it. I'm laughing because it's awesome.
It's competitive as fuck.
It's really competitive.
It's competitive as fuck.
Especially like when you get guys like Billy and Trey who are like, this is their competitive outlet now. Like these guys are like 50. They're not playing in club or whatever. And like they are not, this is not a joke. Like they are going, I have seen some very heated, intense arguments growing up between a lot of old heads.
Trey was Phantom's best player last year, and that's not a hot take. Trey Katzenbach was Phantom's best player as a 53-year-old or whatever.
That's absurd. That's absurd.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. So I'm getting flooded with memories from like all this stuff, because this is what like formed me as an ultimate player.
As a kid,
this is where I got sharpened, and I was like,
I do. I really do. I am envious of this. I wish there were more communities like it, and I would sort of happily retire to that sort of sphere.
Come through, man. You're welcome here.
Yeah, we can go to the East Coast sometime, Mikey.
Here's the thing about McCuddle, though, which I like. I mean, you guys may consider me as part of the ultimate community, but I'm really not. I don't consider myself part of the ultimate community, and that's what kind of helps me power forward through and continue to film, because I feel like if you get really involved with the community, you're expected to do a lot. Like I get a lot of emails from people like, oh, you didn't film this. Oh, you didn't film this equitably. Oh, you didn't do this. Why didn't you film this team? Or like, all that bullshit, like the ultimate, like that kind of stuff that happens all the time.
Yeah. I just want to hate on you for filming free games. Like,
dude, like that's the thing, right? So it's like, I don't want to I feel like if I entrust myself into the community like that, like, you really have all these expectations, and I never wanted that for myself. I've always been a free willy, and distancing myself from that has been like the best. And McCuddle has a lot of guys that if you ask some of these guys, like, yo, who's Bo Kittredge, or like, did you go to the All-Star or the Diversity Tour? And a lot of guys, it's not like they would not go. They just have no idea of anything outside of Ultimate. Like, you ask them, like, dude, like, you watched the Ultiworld stream last night, and they're like, what's that? I don't even know what Ultiworld is. But some of these guys are like really good players, and it's because they're not like in the community. They just love fucking playing disc, and
Yeah.
like I
It's
kind of vibe
pure.
with that too. Like, you know, like I'm not all about like, oh, like I don't go to Wildwood. Like, even though I live in Jersey, it's just not my cup of tea. But like I just Ultimate is like a separate sphere. Filming is a separate sphere, but it doesn't like run my life, and it makes me like keeps me fresh. I never get burnt out that way because I film the teams I want to film, the players I like to film, and I don't have expectations. Like, I would burn out if I was with Ultiworld, like up
For
on the
sure.
scaffolding, like 9 hours filming at every big tournament. I would burn out. I would hate my life. I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I film for AUDL every now and then. I go up to some games and I use their cameras for the Empire. So
That's cool.
that's fun for me. But yeah,
That's
I
interesting.
feel that they, you know, you got to do these things for the right reasons, sort of, and
Yeah.
as these guys know, I tend to spread myself pretty thin and can get that burnout. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
absolutely.
respect that. I respect that.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
thankfully, I'm in a
smart.
career that, you know, I don't need like film to like pay my bills. I think it's a very tough industry to make money in, like especially Ultimate in general. But thankfully, you know, like I can focus on my career, and then when I'm off, like, you know, do my frisbee stuff and film stuff and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a nice balance for you. Totally.
yeah,
Yeah, there's
That's
well, I'm forgetting Benson. I'm typing because Benson. I think his last name is Dastrup. Dastrup. He's out of the Chicago area. He's the guy that does a lot of the drone stuff.
okay.
Have you seen him he's a big guy. He's
I
got
think I've
oh
seen
the
him. Yeah,
the
really
Utah.
nice guy. I think
Mhm.
he's an attorney by day, but he's come out to film some of our bird stuff just because like I've kind of met him through probably Pavel and Machine and
yeah,
also and because we've done scrimmages with BYU and his kids go to BYU.
Well, and his son reached out to us on
BYU.
like CU and came to nationals for us the one year.
That
Oh, really?
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Oh, and
Don't
they
get
were
me
here
started
for the
on BYU.
BYU game. They were here
That's
when we
right.
did.
Yeah.
That's how we met them. We did that BYU crossover game.
Those poor BYU kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
But
They got shred.
he has a similar sentiment though. Like it's a passion project. You know, it's fun. It's something to do, um, and I actually as a coach who does a lot of scouting, his type of footage obviously very good for that.
Super good.
Serves
Yeah.
a much different purpose than the AK highlight video. But the AK highlight video is what gets me motivated to keep doing it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to keep it nostalgic. That's my like my. I'm definitely like what I love about all the cinematographers is they all have their like niche. You know, like Charles, like Unchuckable, like he's the best document. Like he makes the best documentaries without a doubt. Nathan, you know, he's everywhere. He's filming every tournament. His level of content is so high. I feel like I do my main source is the emotional stuff from highlight reels. That's what I like to do best. But like Haley's dad, like he films a lot of just full games. Everyone has like that little niche, you know, and that's what's cool about it.
I played with Haley, so Haley's dad did film some of our games actually.
Oh yeah, nice,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
yeah. So
what is the sphere missing? What else do we who else we need more people filming the game? What is the major void in your opinion?
I think honestly, I think USA Ultimate is just. I mean, they're not the organization that Ultimate needs. I honestly think ESPN doesn't really help much. Olympics, I mean, that was their goal like 10 for the last 15 years, but like they don't really care about anything that's non-prestigious for them. Like World Games, they'll post every other day, but like Pro Champs is happening, all these big USAU tournaments are happening, and they don't care. They don't post anything. All they care about is their top 25 players in the country. And they kind of let everyone else kind of bleed. So now you see like the YCC stuff, like Minnesota, like a lot of these YCC programs are just
Leaving.
doing their own thing. Like high school nationals is its own thing, but like USA Ultimate could do a lot better with promoting youth and utilizing our media for like their own stuff. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they don't like. I literally do not charge for my videos. You could literally take my videos and post it on your channel, and I would be like, great. They don't. They've never done that. You know, so it's like, what is
Yeah, it's
their like?
weird.
What is their like? What are they doing? Like, what's their like their focus? You know. So
Yeah, and
I
I
feel
wonder
like
what that stems from.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to
Quinn's
say.
wife has a lot of takes on this, right?
Yeah, she hates
As
all
a
that stuff.
fan.
She
Yeah.
hates it. She's always DMing them and just like talking shit about like the setup and just everything. Like she's always
Yeah.
DMing them.
As a coach, even I spent 20 minutes or so at Pro Champs. Like, where is the field map?
Yep.
How do I figure out what
The website
field
just
I'm on?
sucks. The
The
website
website
sucks.
is one of the
Yeah.
biggest things for me. It
Yeah.
hasn't been updated. And I mean, I know it's
Ever.
easy to just like shit on USAU because it's like, a lot of, I don't know. It feels easy at least. It feels easy.
Yeah.
But then,
I wonder why.
yeah. Yeah, totally. I wonder if like a lot of it is like because so many of the people who are in USAU are probably players. Like, I mean, I have no idea, but like, I don't know what drives the fact that it does seem like it's so focused on like the top whatever amount of players, and then everything else is just whatever. Like,
It's like
I don't know what
my
their
thing
goal
is
is. I guess like
there is no goal because they talk about how they don't support the AUDL because they don't invest in women or children or stuff. I've watched AUDL since a kid since they started,
Mhm.
and they do way more for youth clinics and like girls like in Ultimate. Like they have so many clinics, so many like outreach opportunities. Like yeah, sure, it's a men's only league, but there's two women's leagues that a lot of the teams support. Like with and what is USAU doing for youth? I mean, Ulti World is launching high school nationals and stuff, but like that's their own thing. Have you seen USA Ultimate make one post about high school nationals? Not once. And that is our future. Our future isn't, unfortunately, we're kind of already in our late 20s, 30s, 40s. Like that, our generation it's going to be our future children that play on a varsity frisbee team or whatever in high school, and then get a scholarship to play in college. Like it's going to be our children that do that. It's not going to be us. We're past that stage, but it's the AUDL and like all these other grassroots organizations and summer leagues that are setting this up. USAU is not really doing that, in my opinion. So,
yeah, because it's interesting because like the mission is to advance the sport of Ultimate in the United States by enhancing and promoting character, community, and competition. But even that is just kind of an interesting, like, I don't think that really. I feel like if you're advancing the sport, I mean, I don't know. I guess just advancing the sport. It's not growing it. It's not
it's
like
just
their
these
mission is
slogans,
to
man.
grow it.
What does that even
They
mean?
harp on a slogan every year. Like what one year it was like "Born to Rise." Like that was every like play. What a Born to Rise play that was. Like that's all they said for like
Live Ultimate is the best one.
Live Ultimate. And then they had that USA Live Ultimate Ambassadors. Like they paid for them to go to San Diego or something and play in a showcase tournament.
That was insane.
Like it was just like
Yeah, I
where's the
do
money
wonder.
being spent?
I wonder what this sport will be like in 15 years in terms of a governing body. Like back to my pickleball stories. I saw a headline today that the PPA and the MLP, both pickleball organizations, are merging back together. So there is some collaboration amongst the different factions in other sports, and maybe there are some more combos with AUDL and USA Ultimate behind the scenes that we don't hear about. But from whenever I do hear rumblings, it sounds like it's a pretty closed door.
Yeah, that's the thing. If like we need all the help we can get for everyone to work together to like promote stuff, and if you have all these divisive organizations, like it's just not going to work out.
What would happen if like I'm not saying that I want to shut out 99% of the other players and teams, but what would stop like the top 10 to 15 to 20, 10 to 20 club teams just saying like, fuck it, like let's just go have our own tournaments. Hey, Ulti World, do you want to just come? Because like we all of us know how to run a tournament because nothing goes into running a USA Ultimate tournament. Pro Champs had I don't know if I didn't see any observers.
It's the local summer leagues that operate these tournaments.
Yeah, like
they're volunteers. Yeah.
we got an email the night before saying something like, "Hey, good news! Every field's gonna have a tent," and like that was not
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
how is that not a given? And like,
Yeah.
how is it not a given that we're not that each like this the scoreboards should just be at every field? Like
Be at every field,
that should be
yeah.
USA Ultimate owned equipment that gets shipped
Yeah.
to all these tournaments.
And
I
it's
went to
interesting
a
'cause
local
it's so
soccer tournament.
Go
Okay.
on,
I went to
okay.
a local soccer tournament with like second graders. Like nothing crazy. It was like down the field. I was just walking by and I was watching for a bit. And they have EMTs on the scene. They had like everything on the scene. I don't know if you guys know, but by trade, I'm an ER doctor. And during when Grant got injured at Club Nationals, like that whole concussion thing, like I was there on the field, like supporting him, like there at the site. And the trainers or whoever came like to assess the scenario, they didn't have a seat collar. I don't know if you guys know, but like that's to prevent like neck trauma. And I was like, what kind of sporting event is this that you don't have seat collars or anything available? We have to wait for an ambulance to come. Any sporting event should have all this stuff. And if I see it at a second grade like soccer tournament, like why is it not at the semifinals of the biggest, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's
So
crazy, and it begs the question: like, is
Yeah.
the fields like? Why? It would be so interesting to know. Like, I mean, even like someone was telling me like to go to sectionals here in Colorado, it's like $700 for a team or whatever.
yeah,
Like,
I'm paying like a couple $100 for this weekend where we played 4 games in a row, like not
like what
back
is
to back to
that?
back to back.
Like, is the field really that expensive? I don't. Just. It's so interesting to me.
It got
Like,
rained out too. We lost all of our Sunday, so we played on a team called Porn.
Oh
By the way,
God.
we have pride of Rowan Newark.
That's
But,
That's
Fucking
great.
hilarious.
So you got to see the jerseys. We got a
There's
picture of so it's a bunch of Rutgers alumni, but we picked up some like Devil kids, like Kevin Trey, Chris, and Connor Russell picked up with us because he's just a
Okay.
practice player. So we had a bunch of guys pick up with the team, and it was originally a bunch of Rutgers guys, and we wanted to make it like make fun of like Pony because the Rutgers Pony connection is there. So they wanted to do Pride of Rutgers, New Brunswick, so PORN. But
Yeah.
Rutgers doesn't let you use any. They don't let you
Oh,
use
like their name?
their name and anything that's non-college. So we changed it to Rowan Newark because Rowan is a university in New Jersey as well. And we just made jerseys, and we decided to put Jimmy Mickle and Mr.
Oh
Bean.
God! Oh
We
yeah.
his name is Rowan Atkinson, so we have like him and Jimmy Mickle on our jerseys.
That
Hold on,
is
I'll show you.
That's
That's
hilarious.
so funny.
These are our jerseys.
Oh, my. And then a combination of the two.
Yeah.
is-
Combo is too much.
Yeah, that was the jerseys for the weekend. But
was that was club sectionals? Was it?
that was just this weekend. Yeah,
That's sick.
Nice,
Dude.
nice.
yeah.
That's
Shout out porn, baby.
Go
Yeah.
Pride.
Yo, all
Pride.
the porn was filmed. I'm gonna actually drop the videos on my
Yeah, that's
YouTube
right.
channel and on Pornhub. I'm gonna just upload the full
Awesome.
game. Porn versus like I don't know some shitty Pennsylvania team on Pornhub too. While I'm at it.
Yeah. That's
Hopefully it stays
insane.
up.
There's so many funny things you can go with that because you could like videotape it and just post porn for everyone to watch.
I mean, technically,
So
yeah.
everyone
technically.
could everyone could go watch porn on your YouTube channel.
Yep, it's coming up, man. It's coming up.
I can't wait. I can't wait to watch that porn.
Stay tuned.
Big porn fan. Big porn fans over here.
Yeah, big porn fans. That's funny.
Sweet. Well, AK, thanks for joining. Do you have what anything coming up? Any questions for us? Where can we check you out?
Yeah, I guess I'm curious about who are other people you guys have like interested in like interviewing, or is there someone in like this area that you guys have difficulty reaching out to that you want me to reach out to? Where do you guys see yourselves going with this like in the next like year or so?
That's a really good question.
That's a good question.
God, I wish we were that organized and had like a.
Um,
if only we could post our mission and strategic plan. That'd sound so good.
I don't have an answer for that. I don't know where we're going, but it's kind of funny. Like every once in a while, we'll look at our views, or like we'll have someone that we didn't expect reach out to us, and then all of a sudden we all like text each other and we're like, hang on, like we might we might be able to make something off this. Like every once in a while, we just like start texting like crazy. It's like, how is this happening? Like, are we gonna do this?
Yeah.
So I don't know where we're going, but we definitely have monthly, if not weekly, like little spurts of holy shit. Like we could definitely make at least a little something out of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to diversify. I think like we started doing a lot of guests, and I love having the guests, but I like doing all sorts of different things like we've been talking about. I think one thing we want to do next is maybe a film breakdown, something like that, just a point or two, have a couple talking pieces. I think those are fun to post on YouTube, and it'd be fun
Yeah.
content for like all three of us to comment on. One of the next guests I want to get on is I don't know how to reach out to these types of people, but I want to get like a George Stubbs or like a Ashlyn Joy, someone from just the generation before, like probably a revolver player, maybe like an iron, someone from that kind of era, just to
That
talk
era.
to
Yeah.
one of those people. And then I've been floating around like one of the reasons I've enjoyed having you on is I like having different perspectives of Ultimate. So I want to get like a Mitch Dangler, like someone who like officiates a game, someone like a referee and observer, because it's just such an interesting perspective that I think a lot of people don't hear from often. So I think someone like that too. I think for me, it's really fun to just explore all these different avenues that you can.
And that's why I like filming teams, because you get to learn about a lot of different people. I actually brought this up in a lot of interviews for my residency, when I interview people for residency. And a big part of what it like helped me become a better physician, I guess, is that I'm able to work with people of all sorts of backgrounds and cultures and like interests and pursuits. I only got that through Frisbee. I grew up in Central Jersey, which is there's a lot of Indian people, a lot of like upper middle class folk. And I almost went to Rutgers, which is also a lot of just brown people that all ended up going there. And I chose Penn State because I kind of wanted to like leave home for a bit and kind of like explore different people, different culture, different vibes. And like, I'll be honest, like I was not comfortable around like white people until I went to college, because I grew up around all Indian people. So like getting that kind of like exposure and like being with the roommate whose parents like couldn't afford for him to go to college, like he had to work, meanwhile my mom sent me money whenever I needed it. Like you get that different exposure into things. And like obviously filming different teams, like you would see different people, like all different backgrounds, and like kind of like helps you like look at people at a different lens. So like if I had to take anything from like filming Frisbee, honestly, like it's honestly made me become like a better person overall, as cliche as that sounds, because I'm able to like interact with, coach, or play with people of all sorts of like backgrounds. And honestly, like that's so understated with Frisbee.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Team sports.
Yeah.
So important for life perspective. I 100% agree. Could not have said it better myself.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I mean, 20, 30 years from now, you're going to remember your championship from last year. That's for sure. But like, you'll remember all the car rides, the practices, like the camaraderie you had with your friends on Bravo, on Mama Bird, over like some random tournament you won, like, or some random championship, and both filming and playing that, like those memories, like that's what I like about keeping everything on my YouTube channel. Like 20, 30 years from now, it's all we got, to look back on. So yeah,
that is really cool to capture the moment that way.
Yeah. I love that. And you're so right. And I'll take a moment to express gratefulness for the pod, because it's just it's a weekly construct to hang out and get to know different people, including including you, AK, and obviously get to spend more time with these two dudes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cherish it, right, while it lasts, especially you, Alex. You're the youngest of the bunch, until life takes its way, like I see a lot of friends like starting to have kids now, get married, and life changes and priorities.
I'm never growing up.
Yeah, we know.
Keep the spikes coming. By the way, I film whoever spikes more. If you keep doing that, I'll be there.
Let's go. I had a phase.
Spikers.
I had a phase, but I do still like. It's just got to be the right moment, It's got to be hype. I had a phase where I was spiking everything, like edge down, and that was fun and that was good. But now I think for hype moments, I'll edge spike and whatnot.
Nice.
All right. We got anything else for AK before we let him go?
No, just don't forget if it's Bird Pitt at Nationals, we got a lot on the line.
Listen,
We'll like shake on it before the game. Like we'll get the Bird guys to shake on it with the
Yeah.
Pitt guys. But it's like, and if they don't accept, like, all right, babies.
listen,
Like,
I sports bet at every Frisbee tournament I go to. Every single one. I made some money with Bravo last year. I lost some money with who did I lose money with?
you're
Fucking Fury the
welcome.
other
Let's
year.
go.
I made $200 off Sockeye losing 2 years ago or 2017, whatever.
What was your bet on us? I'm curious.
It was not to win the. It was a like we chose like a list of teams that would not win their pool that would make it to like quarters, and you guys are one of the teams. I was like, yo, like they're not
That's
going to be
us.
like one of the first round buys, and yeah, and I
That
took
was a good bet.
someone.
It was a great bet.
Someone
Great
took me
bet.
truck versus the field, and I was like, dude, 100%.
What?
The field. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, I was rooting for Pony, but obviously, I was like, "There's so many teams that could be truck that it was you guys, obviously." But
We did ask
Yeah.
Ben if he would take Pony or the field this year.
it's a
What did
tough
he
question.
say? What did he say, Kins? Do you remember?
I think he's going with himself. I think Ben was pretty confident.
He was a bet on myself kind of guy for
think-
sure.
I don't care what
yeah.
the team is. I'm taking the field every single year.
Yeah,
I don't care
yeah.
what the team is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think
truck.
this year it's still truck. It's still truck as the number one this year. I feel like,
They'll be the one seed for sure, but
yeah,
full strength Pony.
Just
I don't
more
know.
pressure.
Yeah, it's tough because when Pony played them, I feel like Pony had more of a roster at U.S. Open and they were able to win. But Truck, I mean, those are the favorites right now for sure.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get
Yeah.
closer to in shape. Jimmy at Nationals, another thing that you're reviewing some of your old highlight videos from last year reminded me of is how fucking good Jimmy can be when he is.
Oh, he was the best at Worlds. He was by far the best thrower. He's probably still the best, like one of the best, top 3 best pure throwers in the world right now. Still,
Yeah, he still
but
is.
at Worlds.
But
it
when
was
he
nuts.
when
Yeah.
he gets that dual threat in his game, like he is unstoppable, and he had that
Yeah.
even just a year ago. So
Yeah.
Okay,
I have faith in him.
this is a good segue. Is that a fantasy football draft behind you?
Yeah, it's last year. Oh fuck!
It just fell. It fell. So
Yeah.
I was wanting to ask all pod, but it just
Yeah.
fell. So
Yeah, I got this one and I have another one on the other side. This is last year's, and we got this year's on this side.
oh sweet,
Yeah,
nice.
I got a good
Um,
squad this year.
Who'd
you didn't
take?
have Rodgers on your team. Are you a Jets fan?
No, I'm an Eagles fan. Go Birds, baby.
Let's go! Come on, AK. That's
You
huge.
see this shit? You see this? I'm a Sixers fan too. I got trust the process right over here.
Oh,
that one didn't age as well, dude. The
That-
Sixers
I
are
know, that's
killing
so
me.
big. It's an
The
L,
Sixers
I
have been
know.
killing me lately. If the Sixers were run as well as the Eagles, like Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, but
Man, I'm a huge
that's
Eagles
hype.
fan.
That got me hype. Hell yeah.
Who'd
I'm
you
so
take in
happy
the-
you said that.
In the first round, who'd you take this year?
So we do auction. So
Oh,
we don't have.
wow.
We switched out of Snake. Auction is like the best vibe.
Really?
This year I got
Bill
Austin
Simmons says
Eckler.
it's the only way to do it. If
Yeah.
you're doing a snake
could-
draft, then you're not
Sure.
playing fantasy right.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Austin Eckler, and we also do top half wins. It's the greatest thing you can do for fantasy. Essentially, it's a setting on ESPN now. Essentially, if you win your matchup, you get 1 win for the week, and if you're in the top 50% of scoring for the week, you get another win. So you
Oh,
can
I
go
see.
2-0, 1-1, or 0-2 in a week.
Oh, that's
So why
kinda
that's
nice.
nice is like, let's
Yeah.
say you lose your matchup. Let's say you put up 150 points, and the guy you play against drops like 170, and everyone else in the league drops like 80 points.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, I could have beat everyone else, but I played him. So you would go 1-1. You lost your matchup, but you're in the top 50% of scorers.
That is nice.
So,
that is nice.
yeah,
People always
it's a
complain
nice-
about
Yeah.
points scored and points against, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This
that's
is
I'm
why
in
it's
that
quick fantasy,
league.
though.
Yeah. There's another
can't-
league where every time you make a trade or a drop or any transaction, you have to put in $15 into the pool. So the prize pool gets to be like, first place will
Wow.
probably take like
Ooh.
7,000-8,000.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This
It
is
gets crazy.
this
That's
is
sick.
fantasy with physicians. It sounds like.
No. Listen, I gotta pay my debt still. But that's it's $100 buy-in league. It's nothing crazy, but every transaction is where the prize pool builds.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one.
You're a betting man.
I like bets. Yeah, bets are fun, man. Alex, if you guys ever want to play some parlays, I'm in. Always.
You might,
It,
you might need to give me some lessons.
ultimate parlays, because I can bet on myself in club, right? Like that's allowed.
Yeah.
I can't get banned
I mean,
in club, right?
we don't have a bookie per se, but we just betting like, I bet with like
Yeah.
some. I won't name people. I don't want to put them on the spot, but I mean, hundreds of dollars.
Well,
every
Jimmy,
tournament.
clearly, hey Jimmy, like $20
$20
whenever you got it,
20
dude.
bucks, bro. You Venmo. He messaged me on Twitter. He's like, dude, what's your Venmo? And I sent it to him. And he never sent the money to me.
Classic.
So
He's just
Classic
stringing you
Jimmy.
along.
Jimmy, man. I'm gonna tell him. I'm like, dude, I'm not filming Pony until I get my $20.
Damn right.
He's on the
Damn right.
blacklist. But,
Damn right.
yeah.
That's great.
All right,
I guess
AK.
one last question for you guys, because
yeah.
I'm curious. What is your favorite video on my channel? What's something that I could do more of, or like song requests or anything you guys liked?
I mean, my answer is easy. It's the Pony Worlds
Pony
one.
Rail?
Like I love that video. I think it's sick. And plus, like Pony wins, and for whatever reason, I have a lot of friends on Pony as well. So, I was at that point very much living vicariously through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat that video. That video is so sick. But
Cool.
I'd have to go. I haven't been through all of them. I'd have to go. I'd have to look. But that one is definitely top of mind.
I would say
Yeah.
that one in my 2022 highlight reel from all the plays from last year. That was probably my
That's
favorite.
a good
Alex,
one,
you're in the
too.
end of it. Did you know that? You're in the end of it?
Which one?
The
My
highlight-
2022 highlight reel. It's you landing on a rocket, but not landing on a rocket, and you just land on the ground.
Yeah.
Seen that,
I
right?
think I do remember that from the machine
Yeah.
game. Yeah, that was
That's-
good.
yeah.
I selfishly really like the Pata Summer League ones. When I went on your channel today to look around and I saw that, I got really excited.
I love that deep
Word.
connection.
Yeah.
Um,
it was crazy.
That end of year 2022 highlight film though, the song was Helium, I think, by Glass Animals.
Yeah.
After I watched that video, I started playing that on the way to practice last night. So
The song is hype, man.
the song
The song is
recs are strong in the videos.
If you like that one, watch the Pit one from last year. Yeah,
Dude, I gotta watch Pitt
myself.
beat Mama Bird again.
From last year, 2022, not this year, from 2022.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite. Yeah. But hey, listen, the porn's coming out this week.
Yeah, let's go.
There's gonna be a lot of highlights from porn this year.
I love that.
Some high quality explicit porn coming our way this weekend.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Anyways.
Thanks for joining us, AK. We will be in touch, I'm sure. Hopefully we'll see you out there at Natty's.
Absolutely. Hit me up. I'll be there.
All right.
Yeah, take it
Peace
easy,
out,
guys. Thanks for
everybody.
having me.